All right, guys, so I am going to do something I've never done before, and it's for the benefit of my brothers and sisters out there that are curious about this type of procedure. So it's called transcranial magnetic stimulation, and the goal of this procedure is to induct energy waves, like magnetic energy waves, through the brain to excite brain activity and potentially regrow neural pathways or perhaps build new neural pathways, alleviating the symptoms of traumatic brain injury. Now, I feel like I've recovered from most of my traumatic brain injury through many different modalities, whether it's breath work or other types of brain things that I've done. But still, I hope to see some benefit from this, right? And the goal for the outward facing goal for other of my brothers and sisters to see is that this is safe, right? So typically with transcranial magnetic stimulation, they call it TMS, you do 40 treatments. 40 treatments. It is expensive. It can be as much as $100,000. It takes expensive equipment. The equipment traditionally is very big, and it goes in a doctor's office, and it needs to be administered by a doctor. Now, the machines are smaller, it's slightly less expensive, and they have reduced the time requirement to 5 days. And that is well documented, the 5-day treatment. And so you're still doing 40 treatments just within 5 days. So do the math on how many treatments per day on that 5-day period. Now, for the first time ever, as far as I can tell anywhere, Dr. Georgine Nanos of Kind TMS is available to do 1-day treatment. All the treatments have to be done in 1 day, so it's like a 10-hour, it's a long day. But I want to do this to show people that it is safe and that this is something that others can do to see relief. Now, anecdotally, what I've experienced, I've had multiple suicidal friends go in for TMS treatment and come out happy as can be, happy about life. So there is something to it. Now, this is very well documented. It's safe. It's FDA approved for drug-resistant depression. It helps with sleep. And guys, listen, there's no side effect. So that's the big thing, no side effect. So if there's only upside and no downside, this sounds to be a pretty promising path, but we want to show people that it's safe. So more to follow on this, but I am going to be showing everyone what it looks and feels like to do this treatment. On my way to the Kind TMS treatment. It's 5 a.m. and I got to get there when they open at 6 for the 10-hour all-day treatment. Morning.
Here is the quick consent. It's just one, and then apparently they want you to fill this one out as well. This one's paper.
All right. Now, I filled out the paperwork before I got here. This is just the consent, right?
Just the consent,
okay,
yeah.
good, because that took forever.
I know. It's so long. Every time I send it to somebody, I'm like, I'm so sorry. It's really extensive, but...
Well, it's worth it.
Yeah, we need it.
So type my name.
All right, you can come on back. This room right here, you'll just be hanging out in here in between treatments. You can eat lunch in here, work. Your stuff will be safe in here as well.
Awesome.
So for most of these treatments, we're going to be targeting an area of the brain called the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex on the left side. And that is where a lot of our emotional regulation is controlled, and that's where we can affect the most change and see the best results.
Okay, so I guess this is the room here. All right, what do we have here?
Alright, so this is the treatment room. We're going to go ahead and take a quick measurement from the bridge of your nose all the way to the back of this little bone on the back of your skull. It's called the inion. That's going to tell us what cap size you are. So these are the caps right here. They'll kind of just sit right on your head, and then we'll kind of just start brain mapping from there. So give me 1 second. Just get this going. Here, and sorry if I mess up your hair a little bit.
No, it's fine.
Right. All right, and then you can go ahead and lie down here now.
Perfect.
And what is your age?
43.
And then now we're just going to do some, it's called brain mapping. So I'll go ahead and have you kind of wiggle your fingers out, squeeze them a few times, just kind of relax them and put them on top of your chest. Yeah, just kind of waking up that motor cortex in the brain. And then I'll have you scoot up just a tiny bit. So your head's right there. Perfect. And then align this here. And then I do have to put a little bit of pressure here. I'm going to have you unlock your fingers and just kind of relax them on top of your chest. Yeah, perfect. So I'm kind of looking for a twitch. It's a really, really small twitch. You won't be able to really see it like yourself. You might feel it, but it's just a twitch on your right fingers. So, start there. And it's going to just be one pulse that I send at a time, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Go back down here. Perfect. And this is kind of just telling us how high we have to go on the machine for it to be therapeutical to you, okay?
Perfect.
So I'm at 55, but let me just double check my work.
I feel it in my face. I don't feel it in my hand.
Yeah. And that's another thing when we start actual treatment, because it feels completely different from this. You will feel twitching or like just, yeah, tingling in your face because we are hitting superficial nerves with the machine. But it shouldn't be any like super, super uncomfortable. Should be able to tolerate it. And we have mouth guards and stuff for you if you need it.
Feels fine so far.
Okay. All right. I saw a better response here in your middle finger and your index.
Yeah, I feel it now.
Yeah, so that is 70%. That's perfect. Yeah, I see it in your whole hand now. And I'm confirming it a few times just because that's just what we do, just to make sure you keep responding, and you do. So that's going to be your motor threshold, 70%. It'll never go higher than that.
Okay.
And then the area we're going to be targeting here, it's called PF3. So it's this little guy right here. And that's going to be the treatment area every single time for 20 times today, okay?
Perfect.
Every 30 minutes.
All right.
And then, so we can actually get started on treatment. I'll just have you kind of reverse your head, or turn your head a little bit this way. Perfect. And all right, so that's kind of how it's gonna lay, the machine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna get it secured here. Doesn't move. And then we'll kind of start our way, like we'll start super low and kind of work our way up from there until you get up to at least 80% on the machine. 80 to 90 is actually therapeutic level for Exomine. On the power, not necessarily on your motor threshold. That's going to stay 70% no matter what today.
Okay.
But it's just on the machine. It's kind of programmed to go all the way up to 100%. It's not meaning that it's changing your motor threshold at all. That's just the power of the treatment itself.
Got it.
Yeah. All right, and like I said, we'll start super low and kind of work our way up. All right.
Sounds good.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. How's it feeling so far?
It feels way more intense than I expected.
Yeah.
That's weird and awesome.
It's super weird, yeah.
Kind of feels like it's bending my brain a little bit.
Kind of like pulling almost,
Pulling,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's kind of hard to explain too. You're doing great. This is already, you're already 50%. You may even feel like you have to sneeze sometimes. Totally normal. Another thing that is super normal and pretty much the only common side effect is a headache.
Mm-hmm.
We can always give you any pain reliever for that as well. So just let us know.
Yeah, it's super intense. Now like clenches my jaw a little bit.
Yeah. Mouth guards are probably going to be really helpful for you, so I'll bring you one. This is a 4-minute treatment, so it's pretty quick, but still, we still want to make you as comfortable as possible. On a scale of 1 through 10, 10 being the worst, what would you rate the discomfortness right now?
It's pretty intense.
Yeah, that's 65%, but we can leave it there for this first treatment. You'll kind of notice that as the day goes by, you're going to start getting really used to it. Probably even get like a little bit boring to you at some point today.
Okay.
But people do start getting a little used to it for a while.
Yeah, it makes my eye clench.
Yeah.
My face a little bit.
Yeah. It's like that whole left side of your face.
Mm-hmm.
Doing great. You got 1:40 remaining.
Okay, so my first impression is, wow. I had no idea what that was going to feel like. I guess I thought that it would be more just passive, like it would be something that I couldn't feel and it was just happening. But actually, the truth is, I could very much feel it, and it was kind of like a weird pulling sensation. It was almost like it was like pulling the matter away from my skull or whatever. But now that I'm done with the treatment, I'm reflecting on it. It's like, wasn't really that bad. It's just different. It's just weird. I feel slightly like out of it. Like maybe if you've ever tried the alpha stim or like the transcranial direct current stimulation, the TDCS, that's kind of what it feels like when I do that. But I think that's par for the course. So we've got this session and then 19 more sessions across 10 hours, so every half hour. So what I'll do is just continue to check in and see how I feel throughout the day. My guess is right now that it's going to feel pretty much the same. Then I'm going to have this sort of like, okay, my brain is slightly different, kind of weird feeling. But then, as I expect, it will go away. The goal here, though, is to increase activity in the brain region and improve my ability to think and to feel, and perhaps things that I have had damaged over the years. So I don't know what I don't know. I feel like I'm in pretty good brain condition now, given, my career choice. But if I feel any different, we'll definitely be able to tell. So I'm going to keep doing these video logs. And then after today, I'm actually going to wait a week and then come back and do another log at that point in time to see how I feel a week after treatment. And if it makes sense, I'll continue to do another video about it even later. But I think 1 week after this treatment today should be good enough. So that's it for now.
Great, about 2 minutes left.
All right, so just finished the second treatment. I actually don't feel any cloudiness in the brain. I think maybe some of that was just waking up because I'm just getting started for the day. I normally don't eat any food because I intermittent fast until like 2 p.m. every day. So I'll drink some coffee or whatever. And I just now got my first coffee. They said I could eat whatever I want, by the way. And so I didn't eat anything, but what I have been doing for the last 2 weeks is taking a neuro supplement called Nourish from an Army Green Beret friend who started a supplement company. And it's basically just whole foods focused on brain health. So I think, finishing the second treatment, I felt more confident. So psychologically, when I went in there, I knew what to expect and it didn't surprise me as much, so it didn't feel as weird. It still feels weird, but wouldn't we want it to feel weird? Or at least like it's doing something? There's no question that this machine is doing something. You can feel it. But whether or not I see relief or benefit is yet to be seen. But I feel like right now I'm going to get on my computer and do some emails and start to catch up on stuff. They said that I'll be fatigued by the end of the day. So I don't know if that means that I won't be able to finish emails or do anything creative or heuristic, so to speak. We'll see. But definitely from the first session until now, I feel I'm less cloudy. I think maybe that's the caffeine kicking in. I was having trouble like finding my words on the first after session video that I did here. So I guess I'm just going to keep doing this and see how I feel throughout the day. I'll let you know when I hit that threshold to where I feel like I'm getting fatigued, like mentally, and I can't do certain things that I want to do. But so far, so good. People say that this has cured them of suicidal ideation. People say that they've gotten their faculties back after traumatic brain injury. For example, like in the SEAL teams, blast injury over and over and over, and they just don't have all of their mental faculties, whether it's sensitivity to light or name recognition or just simple stuff that starts to be a problem after service. This could be a solution to that. And let me tell you, there's not a lot of answers out there for traumatic brain injury. So I'm hoping that I can make it through this treatment with no issues and feel better. This is a very low risk treatment, as they say. But if we're able to successfully put people through this type of treatment, this could be the answer for the SEAL teams. This could be the answer for a lot of different special forces groups, as well as other things like, professional athletes that get their head hit, like in football. So I'm optimistic. More to follow. Okay, so that was treatment 3. Still uncomfortable, but I don't feel any pain. I think they raise it up each time. I guess they turn it on. So the machine goes beside your head, and it sort of turns on the magnet and pulls. It feels like it pulls on your brain, pulls on your everything. My jaw sort of clenches up a little bit. And I think it does it about 20 times over the course of 4 minutes. And it definitely feels weird, but I think I'm starting to get used to it. So that is session number 3. We have 17 more sessions. It'll be an all-day affair. So I think I'll share with you guys the coffee mess and some things that I'm doing here with my computer to stay productive on a 10-hour day. Okay, so here's my setup, and it's time to get some more coffee. Into the coffee mess room. Actually, I think I need to fill this up. Might as well while we're here. Looks like this has organic coconut milk, fruit powder, organic vanilla extract, coconut extract, sea salt, and stevia. But we have alpha GPC, MCT oil, L-theanine, and L-tyrosine. L-theanine is an interesting one. We use that in sleep as well. But I've heard it has all types of other benefits. I'd love to actually do more research on it. Okay, so that one was a little bit more intense than the first 3. So this is session 4. That one was intense. I told them if they can throttle it back a little bit, that would be nice, because that would be rough to go that intense for the rest of the day. It was clenching my jaw. I think I might need to use the bite guard next time. And it coming down into my neck where it's like super tense. Because you get a little bit of face spasms and it kind of like tenses up here. But then now it's like coming into my neck, so it's a little bit more intense. My eye teared up over here. And overall, it was just a little bit unexpected, the intensity. I guess it's okay, because now it's done, but in the moment when you're doing it, you're like, what the fuck? So I think we're going to be okay. I talked to him about like maybe throttle it back just a little bit. And so they said, yeah, that's an option, because I think we went up to 90%. And I thought we were going to stop at 70. But I guess she said, yeah, we're okay as long as we hit 80%. I don't know what the difference is in the initial 70, which could have been just like the intensity level presetting for the machine, and how far we go in terms of like them cranking it up. I don't know if it's the same thing or if it's different, but if that was 90, I prefer them to keep it at like 80, because I just don't want that level of intensity. If I need it, great, but I feel like I just want to try this and maybe not like go all the way in. It could just be me being weak, or, I don't know. Maybe I should just tough it out. But session 4 is definitely the toughest so far. So I'm going to get back to my work on my computer here and get ready for session 5 here in 30 minutes. Okay, so that was much better. That was the 5th round, I believe, and wasn't as intense. I think we went up to like the 80% threshold, and that's totally doable. It's difficult, it's still challenging, but it wasn't like crazy intense, like I guess session 4. So I'm comfortable with that. If they're cool with keeping it at that point, I'm good with it. I've noticed also that like through this process, I feel like I have to use the bathroom more. I don't know if that's a side effect of like my bowels moving, or maybe my body is relaxing. They say when you get into the parasympathetic nervous system state, your body will rest and digest better. That's kind of where the energy moves and focuses on. So I don't know if it's that, or just sort of like these pulses through my body that are kind of telling my bowels to do something. Both number 1 and number 2, I kind of feel like that pressure to do that. Otherwise, feeling pretty good. The tempo, every 30 minutes, it seems like it goes by really fast. Really, I only have 26 minutes in between each session, plus there's a minute to put on my cap, so maybe even like 25 only, and then walking back to this room and then walking back in there, maybe 24. I don't know. It seems like they're going by super fast. And so I haven't eaten. I'm looking forward to lunch. I'm feeling hungry. Normally I wait until about 2 p.m. to eat for intermittent fasting, but I feel like I'm going to eat an early lunch today. But so far, so good. I don't feel any sluggishness. There's still sort of this, a little bit of like a cloud in my head, and I think that's normal. But no headache, no pain. It's a little bit, I can feel like something's been going on over here, because they're pretty much putting it right here, and I feel it like in my temple and on the top of my head. This sort of sucking magnet. It's interesting the way it feels, but so far so good. All right, so that's session 6. Suck factor on a scale of 1 to 10. I'd say this is 6, maybe a 7. That one session where it went pretty intense, that was no bueno. I mean, I could have done it, but am I really here to do like a hell week? I guess I would if I had to, but I don't think I need to. And I feel pretty comfortable with where we're at now. I think it's at that 80% mark. It is uncomfortable and slightly sucky, but manageable, doable. And if we have to do, 20 treatments throughout the entire day, well, I want to have it somewhat doable. So anyways, I'm not going to check in on each session from now on. I'm just going to check in at like the 10, 15, and 20 mark. Okay, so we're at the halfway mark, and I've kind of gotten to a routine now. So every half hour, I walk down the hall and I get my brain zapped, and I'm not really even focused on the fear or the uncomfortableness. I'm kind of just in a routine at this point. So feeling pretty good, a little bit, like woozy. I feel that I've got, like pressure on my head, and it's starting to get a little fatigued, but nothing like bruising or pain. Just sort of discomfort in this area. You can tell like it's been being flexed, I guess is a good word. But I'm still doing emails and, rocking away on my computer. I don't feel any degradation of my ability to think. And I'm hopeful that, by next week when I do the check-in, that I'm going to be feeling amazing. Hey guys, so this is my final follow-up with the amazing TMS treatment I got over at Kind. I took a little bit longer to process how I felt and the after effects because my initial plan was to get a 1-week follow-up, but I felt like I was still sort of in recovery at that point. The treatment was a little bit more intense than I thought, which of course that's what I expected. It's a 10-hour, like 1-day treatment, whereas in the past, this type of treatment has only been offered over 40 days, and then they tried a 5-day treatment, which was super intense. So 1 day is definitely intense. So I think my feedback is, number one, this is incredible. This has the ability to increase your neural activity, your brain performance, break through emotional stagnation within that center of the brain, and unlock happiness for you. The second big thing is that this is totally safe. While my personal fears of messing around with my brain or whatever absolutely were in play, it turns out that this is very safe and there's literally no risk of side effects. There probably are some very, very rare edge cases, but in general, this is something that you can go in and do in the United States of America that's safe. There's no drugs, there's no cutting, there's nothing crazy, and you can have incredible lasting impacts. Now, what else can help you with brain performance like that? Especially if you're a veteran and you're suffering with TBI, like what are the options out there? There's really nothing compared to this. So I would say that how I feel finally, having been about a month or so since treatment, is that this has really unlocked a lot of sort of emotional connection. In the beginning, I felt a surge of emotion. There was a lot of different things going on in my head, but there's no question that this unpacked a lot of potentially sort of like stagnant capability within the emotional processing center of my brain. A lot of times what people come in for this treatment for is depression, suicidality, anxiety, sleep-related issues. And they come in and they do this treatment and they're leaving with a tremendous amount of relief. And I've had multiple of my friends, male and female, that have gone in for TMS treatment and come out, gone in potentially with suicidal thoughts and come out with happiness and joy for life. So I think this is really positive. I didn't have any negative side effects. It was definitely an intense process. And the one thing that if I were to do this again, I would plan a lot more time and space for myself to just recover. Like I plan nothing. I plan, team guying it up. I plan nothing. And so I think I probably would give myself a little bit more space and time for recovery. But other than that, I think this is probably one of the most important things that people can look at, especially veterans with TBI and maybe PTSD. This is one of the most important treatments that people should be looking at, because it's not getting you hooked on drugs. It's not cutting your head open. It's not any of these invasive surgeries. And you don't have to go to Mexico or Jamaica and do one of the other crazy type of therapies that people are recommending these days, which, not to take anything away from those, but I think this is a great option. And so I want to leave people with that if you're considering a one-day TMS treatment option, definitely this is brand new and cutting edge, but it's safe. You could have potentially incredible effects coming out of this, and I recommend it. So thank you, Dr. Nanos, and thank you with the Kind team. This was a great experience, and I'm just praying for a lot of healing with a lot of our veterans and first responders out there. Thank you.